tillage. Participation in regenerations is easy. It's rewarding, and it's available now. But hurry, the deadline for enrollment is Friday, November 17th. Contact your ADM representative or visit admadvantage.com.
Covenant Animal Clinic is your hometown vet in Clinton. Hi, this is Dr. Sue Sturr. Covenant Animal Clinic is here to provide the best care for your pets in the most convenient way possible. Learn more online by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. And remember, a healthy pet is a happy pet.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt counties is the leader in fire, water, and mold restoration. See all the many services they can offer your home or business by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast, streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Another gas leak in Clinton Wednesday prompted some in-school adjustments at Clinton Elementary School. The gas leak happened along Van Buren Street. Clinton School Superintendent Kurt Nettles sent notices to impacted families of those students at CES, noting there was no danger to the school building, and after inspection, the building was safe from the outside fumes. Students and staff remained in the building for the remainder of the day. School remained in session the rest of the day. Last month, the city experienced the worst gas leak so far this year as fiber crews from various internet companies continued to work to install infrastructure to bring high-speed internet to the area. It prompted a warning from city leadership they would be more vigilant in monitoring crews digging in the community. An outdoorsman himself, Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers knows full well the tendencies of deer and how they act in the fall. That's why the veteran law enforcement official is sending out reminders to drivers as they make their way around central Illinois, particularly its rural areas.
There's quite a combination of things that occur right now, especially when in terms of the deer herd, and that is, the harvest of the crop and the removal of the crop. To those deer, that's been habitat for the last 4 or 5 months that they've become quite accustomed to, and then all of a sudden, boom, their house is gone. A lot of their habitat is being reduced anyways, and so that kind of has them stirred up. The cool weather that's going to spring on the breeding season referred to as the rut, that's going to start kicking up here towards the very end of the month and the very first of November. And quite frankly, being a deer hunter, but to those that aren't, I guess, familiar with that breeding season, they do a lot of chasing that time of year. Quite frankly, those bucks are out there chasing those does for breeding, and they are oblivious to anything around them. Right. That's when you see them end up in town and in strange places and out in the middle of fields in the middle of the day and things like that. So with that, it also sends them right out into the roadway in front of cars. They just are completely oblivious to anything around them.
Chief Lowers encourages motorists to be vigilant in watching for deer on the sides of the roads and do things like keep those cell phones put down and have their seat belts on.
With the removal of the crop, with the cooler weather, they're feeling frisky, with the rut right ahead of us, the deer are just going to be running wild, no pun intended. But I know, the sheriff could probably comment even more so, or the state police who handle a lot of vehicle crashes. I think they just completely explode this time of year is when we really start to see that. And I think the deer population, the deer herd is very strong this year from what I'm hearing. A lot more numbers out there, a lot more ditch donkeys to avoid. And there again, especially slow down, obviously always wear your seatbelt, be cognizant of your distracted driving, eliminate that completely, but especially when traveling, around the lake, around the wooded areas, things like that, especially at dusk and at dawn, that's when the deer are most active. When it comes time for the rut, they're active 24 hours a day, but typically that late evening, early morning are the most active times in the off season. So be aware of that, especially when you're around wooded areas or nature preserves, things like that.
While the harvest is mostly wrapped up, there are still some combines and grain haulers around. Chief Lowers continues to remind to give them their space and make sure we are exceptionally careful in passing in rural areas when near farm implements. A healthcare expert is hoping as the cooler temperatures roll in, any activity routines you've picked up over the past several months don't go away because you can't get out. Dr. Jim Lavelle is the author of Cracking the Metabolic Code and the Integrative Medicine Program Director for the NFL Hall of Fame Health and Performance Program. He encourages you to seek ways to continue to stay active.
Yeah, I think it's really important. It becomes even more important. I mean, I'm in Minnesota today. I woke up and it was snow on the ground. And, being a Texan where it's pretty hot, I woke up, I was like, man, it is cold out, right? And so, one, if you're not going to go outside, or maybe it's just bad weather and treacherous to even walk, you have to figure out other strategies. So, one of them might be is, hey, do I get can I afford to get a piece of exercise equipment for my home? Something simple, a bike, a treadmill, anything that'll allow you to keep yourself moving.
If being active as you were is going to be limited in the next several months, Dr. Lavelle says one thing you can do to maintain a lot of progress you've made is eat healthier.
But what becomes even more important, because I've seen this, is that the better you can make selections about the food you eat. So keeping your calories within reason, picking the right macros, meaning, carbs, fats, proteins, the more you can hold on to kind of keeping your weight in these winter months when it's tough. Because a lot of people suffer, when the sun starts getting down earlier and you're up in the Northeast, what happens is there's people that, get seasonal affective disorder. They're not enough vitamin D, their serotonin pool drops. And now all of a sudden you're going to bake and you're going to eat and you're going to drink wine and you're going to do everything that is going to be counter to you trying to maintain your health. And this is going into the holiday season where, more sweets, more events, more family get-togethers, where the opportunity to kind of make a holiday, a week, where you just kind of keep eating like it's a holiday after you're done, with the holiday.
While the new year is still a couple of months out, Dr. Lavelle says it's not too early to start to build momentum for yourself and create good habits to set yourself up for success as we get to the time of year when more people begin to commit to a better lifestyle. Dr. Lavelle has worked with not only patients of all sorts of physical needs, but has worked with professional athletes across the spectrum of sports, including working with teams like the Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Cardinals. The National FFA Convention is underway in Indianapolis, and one chapter from Illinois has already been recognized as one of the 3 best in the nation for the Premier Chapter Award in the area of strengthening agriculture. The Taylorville FFA chapter will find out this week if they are the best of the final 3. Taylorville's Jay Blyler says they have been focusing on their interview skills, record book interviews, and public speaking.
Our big thing is centered around how we do our record books and prepare us as FFA members to do proficiency awards and talk about our record books to other people. The interview process is a great thing to learn for anybody. It doesn't really matter where you're going. You need to be able to talk to people. And so that's an important thing that FFA teaches us. And we actually partner with alumni members and other people who are in the industry to work with that. And
the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis draws nearly 70,000 ag students from the U.S., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The American Red Cross is again putting out a call for blood donors. With the holidays just around the corner, you're being asked to take an hour or so out of your day and give the gift of life. Red Cross spokesman Sharon Watson says this time of year, donating blood can become an afterthought.
So we encourage people to take time now before it gets busy to donate so that they can help us to restock the shelves. We really saw a good increase after we announced our shortage on September 11th. And so since that time, we've had a lot of people come out and donate and help us to restock the shelves tremendously. And we know as we go into the holiday that we'll run into that same situation again.
All blood types are needed, especially type O, that is usable for patients of all blood types. Find a blood drive by going to rdblood.org and get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
The days are getting shorter, and as we prepare to spend more time inside, that means respiratory infections like cough, cold, fever, and the flu. Warner Hospital CEO Paul Scarron here to remind you our walk-in clinic is here to treat those respiratory infections quickly and close to home. And the best part is no appointment is needed. The Warner Hospital walk-in clinic just inside our family medicine building in Clinton can treat you for those symptoms without an appointment. Get to the Warner Hospital walk-in clinic and get feeling better fast.
Need a winter coat? Here at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton, we have a great selection of adult and children's coats, and right now they're on sale for 20% off. This is Connie inviting you to come check out our Christmas items too. See us on Facebook, Instagram, and DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. Selling your house on your own can be overwhelming.
Pricing, phone calls, showings, liability. Did I mention the paperwork and baking all those cookies for open houses?
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
For stress-free selling, click the Utterback Real Estate icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Are you a good listener? Has anyone ever accused you of being a problem solver? Do you get a thrill out of having people say yes to you? If so, the Miller Media Group would like to talk to you. Here at the Miller Media Group, we have a ton of fun helping businesses grow, and we could use some more help. So if you or someone you know has marketing and advertising experience or any of the previously mentioned skills and wants the opportunity to earn with commissions over $50,000 a year, send your resume to sales@randyradio.com. That's sales@randyradio.com. The Miller Media Group is an equal opportunity employer.
With SRN Sports, I'm Michael Harrington. The Rangers are World Series champions for the first time in their 63-year history, following a 5-0 shutout of the Diamondbacks in Game 5 last night.
Texas didn't get its first hit until Corey Seager led off the seventh with a single and moved to third on Evan Carter's double, both off Zach Gallen. Mitch Garver broke the scoreless tie with an RBI single one batter later. The Rangers tacked on 4 in the ninth as Jonah Heim hit a run-scoring single and scored on Marcus Semion's 2-run homer. Winning pitcher Nathan Eovaldi worked around 4 hits and 5 walks over 6 innings.
That's correspondent Dave Ferry. The win burnishes the legacy of manager Bruce Bochy, adding to the 3 World Series he won with the Giants from 2010 to 14. He is the 6th manager to earn 4 titles in a career, but the 68-year-old Bochy is the only one to take home championships with more than one team. He is the 3rd manager to win the World Series in both the American and National Leagues. This is SRN Sports. Bobby Knight has passed away at the age of 83. The turbulent and brilliant basketball coach led the University of Indiana to 3 NCAA championships. He was among college basketball's winningest coaches with 902 victories in 42 seasons at Army, Indiana, and Texas Tech. He coached the U.S. to the 1984 Olympic gold medal. His temper was legendary, but he took pride in his players' high graduation rates, was never accused of an NCAA violation. In the NBA yesterday, it was the Lakers using overtime to get by the Clippers 130-125. Warriors 102, Sacramento 101. The Jazz beat Memphis 133-109. Mavericks 114, Bulls 105. Minnesota beat Denver 110-89. It was the Rockets downing Charlotte 128-119, while the Pelicans topped OKC 110-106. Cavaliers 95, Knicks 89. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. It was one of the most successful football seasons for Clinton High School in recent memory. The Maroons finished 6-4 and runner-up in the Central Illinois Conference with signature wins this year over perennial powers Central A&M and Tuscola. Coach Ron Bass says it's been a while since they've had wins over those teams in the same season.
Well, I think just the wins against good programs, traditionally good programs, with Tuscola and A&M, playing Shelbyville tough and Tri-Valley tough, so lots of positives to pull off of. I mean, I've heard people say that they don't think they've been around and seen us beat Tuscola. So Yeah, I mean, those are going to be great memories for those kids, and having a 6-3 season and then going to the playoffs. So,
leading up to the playoff game at Sullivan-Okaw Valley, it was an emotional week as the Maroons learned they would be without starting quarterback Mason Walker due to a one-game suspension by the IHSA. Coach Bass admits he had to take some time midweek in practice to calm his team down.
well, initially, at the beginning of the week, the kids were, I'm not going to lie, they were upset, they were down. We had to have a few moments in practice where, look, hey, this isn't going to change, and we have to move on from it. And we got to do what we got to do without Mason, and we got to do that for him, And so, the kids then, after that first practice last week, that we had some really good practices, and so. They are bonding as a team. I feel like that's one of the things with this group. They really kind of come together as a family and as a football family, and they've got each other's back, and they genuinely like each other. So it's been a really fun group to coach, and so leading into that, I mean, they were ready to go and try to set that tone early, but sometimes you get some bad luck on special teams play, and you have to be able to overcome those things too. And so, yeah, I'm very pleased with our kids, very proud of them.
Coach Bass says this senior group he had this year is a special one, and while he's disappointed they couldn't be the ones to get the first Maroons playoff win in school history, he feels they have laid the foundation for something special inside the program.
How proud of them we were. I mean, they have. You look at what we've done so far since I've been here, and the coaching staff that we have, and the things that we've accomplished in the 3 years, how we've progressively gotten better. It was a great opportunity to take advantage of, and it didn't quite work out our way this time. But we have lots to build off of, and it's one of those things too. It's difficult. The first time the kids got to see, the last 2 years, your last game when your last game is, and here. You don't know when your last game is going to be. And so it hits you for a second. And of course, it's always emotional. The seniors are going to be teary-eyed and realize, that was it. It's done. 4 years goes fast. It was an emotional time with Mason, obviously. The bottom line is, we were proud of our kids and how they responded to so many different things that occurred this season where they could have just given up, but they didn't, and looked at the opportunity that they got to have. So, and now it's a matter of building off of that, and having your younger kids take a look at that and be like, oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. But we're very excited about the future, and obviously we're sad about our seniors, but they have built something special, I feel like.
Coach Bass had exit interviews yesterday with the kids, and he'll meet with his seniors this week. Then, after a few months off, it'll be back to the grind of getting kids in the weight room for training. His message to his team will be January through May is the opportunity to set themselves up to be playing football late into October and into November. Grant Williams tied career highs with 25 points and 7 3-pointers as the Dallas Mavericks beat the Chicago Bulls 114-105 Wednesday night to move to 4-0 for the first time since 2004-2005. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 24 points and 7 threes off the bench for Dallas, which led 99-98 with 4:08 to play and used a 10-0 run to put the game away. Luka Doncic went into play leading the NBA with a 39-point average. He had 18 points and 10 rebounds. Doncic was 1 for 8 behind the arc. Kyrie Irving missed his second consecutive game off a sprained left foot. Zach LaVine had 22 points for Chicago, but only 5 in the second half. Nikola Vucevic had 21 points and a season-high 20 rebounds. The Mavericks and the Boston Celtics are the only teams in the NBA that are unbeaten. The Mavericks went 20 for 48 from distance, while the Bulls were 11 for 33. Chicago did much of its damage down low, outscoring Dallas 54-24 in the paint. There were 22 lead changes, 10 of which came in the third quarter before the Mavs pulled away late. The Bulls will host Brooklyn Friday night in an in-season tournament game. Ivan Prestevov had 28 saves in his first start for Colorado. Mikko Rantanen had a goal and an assist as the Avalanche beat the St. Louis Blues 3-1 Wednesday night. Ross Colton, Arturi Lankinen, and Bowen Byram had goals, while Cale Macker and Nathan McKinnon had 2 assists apiece, and Colorado snapped a 2-game losing streak. Rob Thomas scored. Jordan Bennington made 24 stops for St. Louis, which came in having scored just 14 goals in 7 games, the second fewest in the NHL, ahead of only the winless San Jose Sharks, who have 9 in 9 games. The Blues will host the Devils Friday night. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Think about this. Your valuable acres destroyed by an unrelenting disease, tar spot. Now, think about this. 9/10 of a second. The time it takes to open a bag of the toughest, most effective seed corn you'll ever lay your hands on, making any worry of lower yields and deadly diseases dissipate. Prefer that thought? So do we. Pioneer brand corn products,